In this tutorial, I will be taking this picture and turning it into this picture, a nice and simple levitation photograph. And I'll zoom in a little bit here so you can see a close-up. And this is the before picture. And I'll put that side by side so you can compare. So obviously the great secret to levitating in pictures is using a stool. You place your model on a stool and then you Photoshop the stool out by using either a blank shot or just going in with the clone spot healing tool and just Photoshopping it out, which I will show you how to do in this tutorial. So the first thing I'm doing is going to image and canvas size, and now I'm going to add white space at the bottom of my picture, which we're going to fill in with a different picture to complete the background composite. So now I just cropped the picture into a perfect square, and I just copied and pasted a picture onto the main picture so that we could cover the white space at the bottom of the picture. And now that we've done that, it's time to flatten all the layers. And now I'm on Adobe Stock and I'm typing in hat into the search bar because I want to find a good flying hat I can use in the picture, but I didn't happen to have one laying in my apartment, so I'm going to purchase this hat, for $10 on Adobe Stock. And since it was photographed against a white background, it's going to be really easy to just copy and paste onto the main image and just make a lot smaller after transforming the selection. Now I'm going to use the spot healing tool and just brush over the stool, and it's basically going to erase the stool, kind of acting like a content aware tool. And I love the spot healing tool. I use it for things like this all the time. So I'm just going to keep using the spot healing tool and until the stool is completely erased. And once it gets close to this part of the erasing portion, I'm going to go in with the clone tool and just clone away the stool, which will be easier than just using the spot healing tool, so I can get really close to the body without messing up the lines of the pictures too much. And I'm just going to do the most perfect job I possibly can with the clone tool, and I'm just going to go in with the clone tool a little bit more and just perfect some of the patches. And that's a before and after of using the spot healing and clone tool. Now I'm using the liquefied tool, which you can access by going to edit liquefy, and I'm rounding my model's butt a little bit only because it got really flat from laying on the stool, and to have a more believable levitation picture I have to think of all these little details to make it as realistic looking as possible, which also includes adding a shadow by using the lasso selection tool to draw a selection where I want to darken the area of the picture, which I will do with a curves layer. So now I have curves and I'm darkening the selection to make a shadow, to make it more realistic, like he's actually flying through the air. And now I'm adding some exposure and whiteness within that little circle that you see on the screen on my Lightroom program. It's only adding exposure within that little circle, which is a great little tool that Lightroom has. This is a before and after of using VSCO presets. I'm not going to show you the whole process of using VSCO, but if you purchase VSCO, you can do really cool things with colors and tones and vignettes and fades and shadows and things like that. Right now, I'm adding noise reduction to my subject's face, just to make the picture a little bit more painterly-like and a little bit more soft and a little bit more fantasy-like. Now I'm adding some vibrance and saturation, which is usually the first thing I do after completing the composite and processing the image through VSCO. Now I'm just adding some curve layers. I'm adding curve layers like a vignette in the corners of the picture. I'm making the picture a little bit more blue and just using curves to add a more artistic style overall to my picture. Now I'm selecting the sky of the picture and I'm going to darken the sky. So once the sky is selected, I'm going to go to my curves tool and I'm going to bring the line down to darken the sky and bring the top right of the line and bring it to the left so that there's more contrast in the sky. Now I'm going to add a vignette in the corners of the picture, and I'm doing that by just drawing on a circle, going to select inverse, and then redefining the edge, making it smooth, and going to curves again, bringing the line down to darken the corners, then bringing the left side of the curves line up to add a soft kind of tone to the photo, at least within the corners. So this is what the final image looks like. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and that I was able to help you or inspire you in some way. I don't know if it's illegal to use smoke bombs, so that's something that maybe I should look into, or maybe you should look into if you're thinking of using them. But in this case, I think it made a really good atmosphere to the final picture. I'm really glad I used them. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Please leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time.